Welcome back, y'all. It is Bianca Woke Up Late, and I have some news today for you guys. So, it's just a topic I really want to talk about for a couple weeks now. Like, it's getting serious. New York City is literally falling apart, like, at the seams. Like, when you live here, it kind of looks like it might be okay, but on a deeper level, I think we all know it's not okay. And we all have those people that like see the changes and they try to act like they're not happening, or they just act against the changes and just be like, well, things just change. And it's true, things do change. And one of the biggest changes happening is that New York City is completely falling apart at the seams. So we're just going to talk about a lot of reasons why it's falling apart. I think it was falling apart prior to the crisis, and since then things have been looking real crazy. I think the obvious disparity between the haves and the haves not it's like magnified at this point. Like, I mean, we've always known about it and talked about it in New York City. Like, we know it exists, because the people that live in Manhattan in the high rises are the ones paying like $10,000 a month in rent, while you got people struggling to find a one bedroom for less than $1,800. So we've always known that the prices in New York have always been crazy, but I don't think people have really understand what happens in like a major city after a while. Like, and it's something I've thought about when I was a teenager. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I thought about this. I'm like, in order for any city like this to operate, first of all, to live here comfortably, you need to make over six figures to like really live here comfortably. Like, take your vacations, have your 401k, have a nice apartment without, roommates, scattering around at night. You don't want no roommates. And like literal roommates too. Like, we have grown people like 30 years old that have to like live with a roommate, or two or three or four roommates. And that's pretty much what New York has been. And for the most part, people have always just dreamt big and been like, hey, well, this is how I'm gonna start. Even though I'm 27 with roommates, I know I'm gonna make it in the city. If I can make it here, I can make it anywhere, which is the truth, because it is hard as nails to make it here. And at this point, I don't even see the point of even trying to make it here. That's like putting yourself through the ringer for no reason. That's like trying to become American Ninja Warrior just because. For what? Go somewhere where you can chill out, have a relaxing time after work, and not have to worry about too much. Here, everything's expensive. Everyone's mean. Everyone's angry. The snow doesn't get cleaned up fast enough. Everything's falling apart. All the restaurants and fun places are all closing. Because there's no foot traffic, because no one has money and everyone's inside. So that's pretty much what we're dealing with. And now we have our mayor. Let's just look at the article. Our mayor, Eric Adams, calls out New York City workers to return to office. First of all, the office was the best thing to happen to us. Like work from home office. Like, our home office was the best thing to happen to us in New York, right? It really changed a lot of people's perspective, but obviously it showed us that some people are valued, or their jobs are valued, and others aren't, and it forced a lot of people to pivot. But yeah, Mayor Eric Adams called Thursday for people to revive the state's economy by getting back to work, and said he was tired of hearing excuses about the C19P. New Yorkers, it's time to get back to work, Adams said during a speech at the State Democratic Committee's nominating convention. You can't tell me you're afraid of C on Monday and I see you in a nightclub on Sunday. That's true, but that's not your business, okay, sir? If I don't want to go to the office, I shouldn't have to go, especially if my job is not required for me to be in the office. I personally have a job where I'm required to be at the office. But for my folks out here who do like accounting or whatever, you guys are all doing things over the cloud anyway. It's always been over the cloud, even when you were next to each other. So you don't need to be in the office. And I feel bad for people that like finally like felt some sense of peace with working and having a home life, having a family life all at the same time. Like, I mean, at first I was wary about the whole idea of work being inside your home and not really being able to find that separation. But I'm pretty sure the people that have managed to stay home all this time and work have probably found balance, you know, getting to be around their kids, or just being able to just grab food 10 feet away rather than having to go get lunch outside. But then that's the problem, isn't it? That's the issue. A lot of people are not going to Manhattan. Manhattan has been like the hub of everything, and everyone, like, we've had that commute. You know, we have the commute, and then we have that lunchtime, and then we have that happy hour, right? When you have a majority of your workforce staying at home, all that's done. Ain't nobody paying for the MTA. Ain't nobody going out to Tito's after lunch, like after work. And ain't nobody buying your $18 salad. I'm talking to you, Europa Cafe. Ain't nobody buying your $18 salad no more. And now you're getting tight, right? Now you're getting tight. And then all the other businesses that sell merchandise and whatnot, or stores that couldn't even survive the first 2 months of the crisis closed down. And now you go on certain blocks in Manhattan, and like there's only 3 stores open and like 20 storefronts for one side of the block, and only three stores on the block was open. I know it was bad when McDonald's in Times Square closed down. McDonald's was gone. Starbucks was gone. Bro, listen. The whole city is just crumbling because the mechanisms by which it made money and stayed afloat and squeezed the little guys and sent all the money up there, now it's starting to show itself. And it's giving us little guys a little bit of leverage, but now we got the mayor forcing us to go back to work so that we can stimulate the economy, so that we can pay for Metro cards, so that we could buy food outside. But no, I say stand up. I say we figure out a way. All right, we might have to pay for the MTA, but we gotta bring food from home. We gotta bring food from home. I don't know whether I want us to like not support businesses, because I definitely want to support businesses, but it's like the whole idea of them trying to force us to spend money to stimulate them is just, it's just so sad. Like, that's weird. And then we have to take into account our safety concerns. I've been in New York City for all my life, really, most of my life, and I have never been more afraid of the subway than I am now. Like, literally, I find myself checking to the side of me, you know, making sure nobody's being weird, like, because there's been so much going on. People getting stabbed, people getting pushed into the tracks, and this is happening way more often than it used to. Like, I'm not saying it didn't happen when I was younger. It did, but it was like once a year. Now it's like once a month, once a week, like, and that's like, that can be very scary. And like, I've been on the subway in recent weeks, and like, the subways are disgusting, like, to say the least. I mean, New York City has always been disgusting, but like, this is like a whole new level. I never seen disgust like this. Like, I'm talking about train cars full of garbage. I literally, wet floors, and you don't know where the wet is from, and it's like, why do I have to pay for this? Why? And then they keep increasing the price, and then the service gets worse. The ceilings are literally dripping. If it rains too hard, you're literally in. I'm sure y'all have seen the videos. You can't imagine. You can't even imagine what's in that water. Don't even think about it. It's disgusting. And again, like I said, they want us to get back on these subways, but remember, the subways have always housed a certain crop of people, and it can be very dangerous. So look at this article right here. 2 people slashed on New York City subway as transit violence continues. Like, it's been getting very, very real, and people aren't even going on the subway that much. Look at these cops walking through. Look at the subway, man. The subway looks crazy. I've been to subways in different states and different countries. New York City subway is by far the worst transit system I've ever seen on the planet. Like, it is really bad. It looks like an abandoned house. Like, it really does. And they want us to keep paying more for it. And then we don't know where the money's going. It turns out that most of the money is just going to pension. Turns out. 2 people were slashed in Manhattan subway stations in Manhattan subway stations in separate incidents on Saturday. Just one day. 2 in one day. I've seen, articles of men killing women on the subway, just random women. I saw a terrible video just the other day of a man shoving feces in a black woman's face for no reason. Does not know this woman. Scared her. And then we have, we have things like this where, we've often already known that, people live on the subway because it's a warmer place during the winter. It has its shelter away from the weather mostly. And it has just always been a place for the most down and out homeless people. Most homeless people in general, by the way, aren't in the subway. They aren't on the streets. They're either in shelters or they're living in cars. Most homeless people have jobs. Like, a majority of homeless people have jobs, especially in a place like New York City where the living expenses are so high and anything could happen. So you can end up being homeless just, a couple series of bad events, or just poor planning, of course. But for the most part, the type of people that live on the New York City subway are usually mentally ill or whatever the case may be. And it says here some 350 homeless individuals were recently found living in encampments in subway stations and tunnels. 350 sounds really low, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't think I've ever seen the same homeless person twice, like, to be honest. And so 350 seems a little bit low. The individual, I know that there's deep, like, there's some tunnels deep in the subways that homeless people live. They actually, I think they call, like, the mole people or something. But yeah, this is what you have. And I experienced it when I was younger, like, there being 1 or 2 homeless people on the train, and you just go to the other car because of health reasons. Like, it's very hard to be around people in this condition, not because you don't want to be around them, but because they have no way to take care of themselves. They literally can't take care of themselves. So it puts your health at risk just to be in an enclosed and trapped space with those people, especially with, COVID and, all that stuff going on. But yeah, so we have all this stuff, and then, Adam is saying, hey, let's start removing these people so that we can get these workers back to work. Because they don't want to come on this subway. So, like, they're trying to do anything they can to literally get us to go back to the office. Like, they're like, okay, let's just remove the homeless people because, we need people to get on the train. This is exactly what it's like, though. Like, okay, on occasion, you'll see this happening, or, like, there's nowhere for you to go on the train. So you just have to bear with whatever it is that, whoever's there. And it can be very dangerous. Like, I could say, like, as a woman, like, taking the subway at 2:00 in the morning, not happening no more. I'm done with that. That's over. Not going. I'm too scared now, if I'm being completely honest. I'd rather walk outside. But then that plan is kind of crumbling before us. Adam's plan to remove homeless people from the subway right away has hit a delay. And, of course, why did they hit a delay? Because they had no plan for real to begin with of what to do with these homeless people. Like I said, the crop of homeless people that live in the subway are a very specific group of people. A lot of them are mentally ill or have drug issues, and you have to take care of a lot of different issues. Other people that are homeless, you probably just have to clean them up, find them a job, and they're fine. These people, you absolutely need way more services in order to properly care for them and to remove them from this situation. Like, it needs to be way more. And I think their idea of just, like, trying to penalize people for just being in the subway is just not gonna work. Last week, 2 police officers approached 2 apparently homeless women on the number 1 train platform at Penn Station asked them to leave after one of them tossed something from her collection of plastic bags onto the tracks. Yeah, they do kind of wreak havoc and ruin things and cause delays. The interaction quickly escalated into an order, and it wasn't going well. One of the women cursed at the male cop, who repeatedly stated, "You have to get out, get out." As officers edged the woman out of the gate and towards the street, one woman turned to yell, "Who the H are you, the police commissioner?" The male cop shoved the woman. "Oh no, you not supposed to do all of that. That's crazy." Who then stomped up the stairs with what was left of her belongings. From there, she faded into the streets. The female transit cop assisting the ejection shouted after her, "Tell her if she comes back down here, I'm putting her in handcuffs." This is not how you go about cleaning up the subway with people that are literally in life distress. That's just not how you do it. You don't treat them like criminals for being homeless. Shoving people, that's insane. And the fact that they just reported like, "Oh yeah, you just shoved the person, told her to get out of here," that's crazy. But yeah, like I said, guys, this place is falling apart. Don't come here unless you have to. like for real, don't come here unless you have to. We not trying to see these prices go up anymore, especially with the ridiculousness that we have to deal with. The traffic, the subways, the rent, the food, everything, the weather, everything, the taxes. Oh my god, the taxes. We don't got. Let me just stop here. Let's not get into it. But there's way too many problems in New York City right now for us to, do anything. But a lot of people are leaving. One of those people, definitely leaving. But it's just one of those. It's just one of those crazy things, man. Just gotta get out of here. This place is crazy. like for real. It's not what you thought. It's not what you thought. It's the cold LA out here. It's the cold LA. That's how I'll describe it. But thank you guys for watching. It's Bianca Walker Blake. Peace.